Good evening. Thank you for joining us for the final design and construction kickoff meeting for Site 132 MW4, which is a middle school opening in 2022 in the Horizon West Hamlin Town Center area. A few housekeeping notes about how this meeting will work. Attendees are automatically muted with cameras off. Please use the Q&A tool to ask questions. Please use the Q&A tool to ask questions. You can see the description for how to do that on your screen. You can ask questions at any time, but we will get to those questions during the Q&A portion at the end after the presentation has concluded. The chat is available as a backup, but we ask that you please direct any questions for the panel to the Q&A. If you could please advance the slide, Maurizio. Okay, so the icons you may see at the top or the side of your screen are panelists who are available to answer questions today. We have been having some lagging going on, so a lot of us have turned off of our videos to try to preserve the speed. I'll be introducing everyone who's on shortly. If you have any technical issues while you're attending, you can reach WebEx support at 1-866-229-3239. Extension 2, and then extension 1. I've also added that into the chat so that you can copy and paste it from there if you do need it. If you could advance the slide, Maurizio. Thank you. This meeting is being recorded and will be posted on the OCPS, actually already has been posted. The presentation itself has been posted on the OCPS Facilities Communications webpage. It has also been posted on board member Pam Gould's page, her school board member page. If you go to ocps.net, then choose school board and choose her page, you will actually see this presentation already there. The video of this presentation will also be posted hopefully as soon as tomorrow once that's downloaded. So you'll be able to see that there also. Today we're going to cover the final design and the construction plans for Site 132 MW4, which is a middle school that's going to be opening in 2022 in the Horizon West Hamlin Town Center area. But before we get started, let's turn to board member Pam Gould for welcome remarks.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us today as we continue to plan this school. We're very excited that it is on track and hopefully on time. I hope that's what we hear today. That's what I heard Friday. So I will turn it back to the team and be ready to answer any questions that may come up.
Okay, thank you. So let me tell you a little bit about who is here to potentially answer some questions today. I'm not sure I see we have Area Superintendent Jennifer Cupid McCoy on. This is going to be in the West Learning Community, and she's over that learning community. I know I saw Principal Amy McHale come on. Sunridge will be affected, and so will Bridgewater, so we might see Mr. Jackson on. The architect for this project is Hunt and Brady, and we have two representatives from Hunt and Brady with us today. We have Susan Pendergraft and Mauricio Masso. They're waving, awesome. Thank you, guys. The traffic and civil engineer for this project is Rick Baldacchi with AvCon. And the team that's actually going to be doing the construction, that's Wellbro, and we have Jeff Carter here from Wellbro. Thanks, Jeff. From the OCPS facilities team, we have a number of people here. We have Jessma Lambert is the Director of Construction Planning. I know I saw Stephen Thorpe from Facilities Planning come on. The project manager for this project is Maher Chatilla, and he is here. Let me just look quickly and see who else has hopped on. And if we do get additional people as panelists coming on, I will introduce them. We do have George Olemsky, who's a commander with OCPS Police, and Adam Zubritsky with Transportation. And I also saw that we have two government representatives from Orange County who've joined us today. We have Christina Pichardo Cruz from Orange County Traffic and Diana Almodovar, who runs the Public Works Department for Orange County. So with that, if you could advance it one for me. Okay, so We have this slide really just to say that rezoning is down the line. It's not done. It's not being done really particularly soon. It'll start in the spring. And the reason, we put in this slide is because that's a question people always have. Now, the reason that we're having this meeting without that component is because it actually takes a couple years to design and then build a middle school. And so we're in that process right now. The design has just been completed and we're going to begin building the school. So this meeting is to talk about those two things. And then if you're affected by the zoning of this school, you'll be contacted in the spring of 2021. So with that, I'm going to hand things over to Maurizio Masso for the beginning of the presentation, and then Susan will take over from there. Thank you. Oh, Maurizio, you got to unmute yourself.
All right, thank you, Lauren. On behalf of Hunt Brady Architects, we're extremely excited about being part of this project. And now that we're at the almost the end of design, almost the beginning of construction, we're excited about sharing the results of design. So just to give you some bearings, the school site is just west of State Road 429 in the Horizon West Town Center. And here we're showing it in relationship to some of the landmarks. Hamlin Town Center is over in this area. We have nearby schools, Bridgewater Middle School, Independence Elementary School, and the county line is just not too far here to the west. Let's see if I can advance. Oh, okay. So here's a closer view of the project site. It's a new planned development for this location. It includes residential development, and OCPS has planned a new middle school and an elementary school in order to support the increased population of this development. So you can see here Avalon Road, which you may be familiar with, and there are two new streets. They're unnamed right now. They're just called Street A and Street B. Street A will be the major access point to the middle school and the elementary school here to the west. And then we also have a Street B. It's a secondary street. And as you'll see in the next slides, it will be used for service and bus ingress to the schools. The middle school is a prototypical design. It includes the latest in learning environments, the latest technology. The site has been carefully planned for efficient and safe circulation, safety, of course, and we think is going to be a tremendous community asset. Here's a even closer look at the site. The middle school, as I mentioned, is on the east side of the site, and the elementary school to the west. The middle school is about 21 acres. These are the two streets I was telling you about, Street A and Street B. And we'll look at the site plan right now. The master plan for both schools, the middle school shown here in red, and we'll get a little bit more specific to what all of these areas are. But as I mentioned, there's going to be one major access on the east side of the property and another access and egress on the middle side of the property. And then the last one here on the west will be mainly for the elementary school. The parking area is going to sit to the south. It provides about 700 cars, and the bus loop and service areas, as I mentioned earlier, comes off of Street B, and it would serve both the elementary school and the middle school. The school is in the middle here, and we have room for athletic fields, basketball, tennis, track and field, soccer, softball on the east side of the property. And if need to, in the future, if it's necessary. We also have reserved some space for portables. All right, now we're going to look at some specific aspects of the school. This one deals with vehicle and bus drop-off. We're showing the car stacking in the blue line. Cars will be coming in this area and circulate in this serpentine manner until we get to the drop-off pickup area here. The stacking is for 291 cars, and then from this point, after they drop off or pick up, they can leave following the purple line. On-site parking is 170 cars for the middle school only, and there'll be some additional cars for the elementary school. And for the buses, they'll be coming in from Street B, following the orange line, and dropping off right here at this point, and then exiting through the this blue line back to Street B. Following the path of pedestrians and bike riders, we have two paths, one from the east. Students can follow the red line on the north side of the street, and then before you cross to the access road, they'll be heading north. So there's no crossing with cars, and entering the school either through this kind of a secondary way leading into the gym and media center, or through the main entrance, which is located right here in the middle of the elevation for the middle school. From the west, the students can follow this red path and come in safely without crossing to the main entrance of the middle school. The blue boxes are bike racks, and there are 172 bike capacity for bike racks, with potential, depending on the demand, we could add another 100 plus bike racks. Now we're going to show you how the school works conceptually. The school is organized around a main street, we call it. It's a main, very wide circulation area where all these components attach to. So this is the main entrance facing south. You have administration, media center, the cafeteria on the left-hand side, and the gym on the right-hand side. So these are the more public areas. They're located in this location, that way the community can use them after hours. On the north side are the more academic functions. We have a music wing, and we have two-story classroom labs wing. We have technology labs and art in this wing on the ground floor, and we have sixth grade here on this wing. And then going upstairs to the second floor, these are the two-story wings. We have the other classrooms for the middle school. In addition to classrooms, we're showing collaborative areas like you see here for 21st century learning, as well as at the ends of these wings, we have open areas that could be used for collaborative projects and teaching out in the open. Want to show you some elevations. South elevation, which is the main elevation you see from the road, has the main entrance very prominent in the middle with a high canopy, and then some lower canopies for protected drop-off and pickup. The media center would be located just to the right of the entrance, the administration just to the left, and then we have a cafeteria here on the end, and the gym over on the opposite side. The north elevation, which is the back, the one that's probably going to be the least seen, shows a two-story classroom wings with a courtyard in the middle. And here you see the lockers and gym. And over on the other side, the cafeteria. Now we're looking at the two side elevations. The east elevation showing the gym here in the foreground with a kind of a high protected canopy to allow for people to move back and forth even off hours. The classrooms are, as I mentioned, they're 2 stories with ample light. I can say that about 90% of the student spaces capture natural daylight, which is proven beneficial for learning, of course. The west elevation shows the bus drop-off right in this area. Now I'm going to show you some aerial views. So here we're sort of flying above the access road. This is the main access point, as I pointed out earlier. Parking and the sort of the stacking area you can see here from the air. Flagpole centered with the main entrance. The main entrance very prominent. This is the circulation area that I was talking about earlier that kind of connects all of the parts of the building. The track, the fields, softball, basketball, tennis out here on the east side. And on the west side, you'll see the bus drop-off that circulates in this manner, dropping off and picking up kids here. We have a central energy plant located in this area as well. Notice the bike rack areas, one here and one just beyond the canopy in that area right there. This is a little lower view of the main entrance with the administration area right here and the media center here. After school starts, the school is going to be closed, and the only access point for anyone will be through this entrance, actually through a side entrance, in order to protect anyone from coming into the school. They will have to be buzzed and approved before anyone else can enter the school after hours. And this is a kind of a high-level view, kind of giving you an impression of the main entrance and the drop-off area. I'm going to pass it on to Susan now.
All right, this is a view of the intersection of the 2 corridors. It allows for open space for students to move from class to class and all safely indoors for this prototype. Next slide. Yeah, this is the typical classroom. You can see the interactive flat panel teaching wall is the focal point. The classrooms are designed to be flexible and can be rearranged to meet the needs of the curriculum. Next slide. This is a view of the Technology Resource Center located at the end of each of the classroom wings. The spaces are flexible and equipped with the latest technology to promote collaborative learning. This is another view of 2 different schools that we've designed that show the smart technology, the daylight that's accessible to all these spaces. There a number of these spaces are sprinkled throughout the floor plan. The next slide. The music suite is shown here. There are orchestra, vocal, and band classrooms. These include practice booths and support spaces to provide optimal music instruction. Acoustical treatments on the surfaces shown here enhance the quality of the sound and prevent transmission to adjacent spaces. Next slide. Sorry, you're there. This is the media center. This includes stacks of books and a variety of seating options to accommodate classes and individual use. And the CCTV studio, you can see at the lower left, provides a creative outlet for middle school students. Next slide. This is the cafeteria. It's a flexible space. It's used for food service, as well as a kitchen servery, and it also includes an outdoor dining space. But in addition, it also is a performance space with a stage, and these tables can turn into benches that can be reconfigured for the performance viewing. This is a view of the science labs. The equipment and utilities are organized around the perimeter with student science tables in the center that are focused on the teacher demonstration area at the front of the classroom. Again, this can be reconfigured for a group study, for example. Next slide. This is the administrative area that includes the secure point of entry for visitors. Also, access is provided to reception for visitor screening and then student administration. There's a clinic adjacent. Beyond the reception area are administrative offices and administrative support spaces. Next slide. The gymnasium has retractable seating for over 1,000 spectators. There are basketball courts and volleyball courts indoors. There are also showers and locker rooms and a multi-purpose classroom space. And outside, there's a running track, tennis courts, basketball courts, softball field, and a multi-purpose field. Next slide. So we've designed the school with sustainability in mind. We have included low impact design for stormwater that's actually off-site, native low water usage plants, high efficiency chillers. The light colored roof reflects the heat gain and improves the energy performance. We're using Energy Star equipment. As we mentioned, all of the classrooms generally have daylighting around between 85 and 90%, thermal efficient, high efficient windows and glazing, and automated building controls. Next slide. So there are a couple of versions of this middle school that have already been built by OCPS. There's Timber Springs Middle School, which was a relief school, and Carver Middle School, which was a replacement school. And these are photos of them. Next, the schedule. So this slide is the design and construction schedule. We're completing design, as you can see, on target for the end of the year. During this time, we have been bidding the contractor, Walbro Construction, has been bidding the project, and we have been securing permitting for the project. And beginning in February, Walbro will start construction. I'll hand this over to Jeff Carter with Walbro Construction.
Mentioned February 1st to be exact, we were set to mobilize.
Jeff, you're freezing. Jeff, you're freezing up a bit, so why don't you try turning off your video? We'll see if that speeds you up.
Better?
Definitely
Okay.
better.
Okay, so sorry about that. As I was saying, February 1st, we'll mobilize to start the construction school. As if you're there close by now, you'll see them pulling a lot of dirt out of there. That's the developer working to get it nice and tidy for it. Go. Erected, or excuse me, formed and poured, and ready to erect those things come early summer of 2021. Throughout the summer, we'll continue to work on the inside of the building on the concrete as well as the structural steel, and get the building dried in right around Thanksgiving. By that,
Jeff, can you repeat? Jeff, we lost a little bit of you. Can you go back to where you said right after Thanksgiving?
After Thanksgiving, can you hear me? I don't know why it's going weird now. Right after Thanksgiving, we'll get it dried in. And
We're still losing you, Jeff. But I think probably just the key thing to point out is that when the construction is complete, the furniture and the move-in will be over the summer in June and July. After all the interior work has been done, that's when the move-in will start. Let's try going to the next slide, Mauricio, and let's see if we can hear Jeff on that one. Why don't you try again, Jeff? No? Okay. So I think that the key thing, oh, can hear you again. All right, let's give this slide a try, and if we can't hear you, we'll fill in what you were going to say. No, we're losing you again. Jeff, why don't you disconnect and come back in? And yeah, why don't you just pop out and come back in and see if that helps. So on this slide, you can see the office location. The trailers will be kind of over on what will be the elementary school site. There is a temporary path for in and out, a temporary road, because there's going to be other work going on. There is a path for the crane to use as the building is going up. Tilt wall panels will actually be poured on the ground, and then they'll be lifted up. So it'll go from looking like there's not really a lot going on the site because it's all, below ground level, to all of a sudden, having these tall walls. And then you can see the elementary school site and the parking lot on the left. So on the left side of that line, that construction will be going on at the same time, but it will be a separate project. I think that's the key stuff. I don't think if we get him back on and there are specific construction related questions, let's put him his way. Mauricio and Susan, is there anything you think we should add that I've missed from that Jeff was going to say? Oh, yep. I don't know if you're able to hear what I said, but you want to go ahead? Give any more details?
Yes,
Oh, it sounded good to me, Lauren.
Okay. Yeah.
I was jumping in. Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think we might be losing you again. I think the one thing I didn't get to touch on was there was some road work that Maher had mentioned you wanted to talk about, and I don't remember what that was. Not hearing you, Jeff. That's all right.
Well, I think one point is that since Street A would be. Okay.
You want to go ahead, Jeff? Okay, let's give this one more try, and then let's let Mauricio do it if we can't hear you.
Okay, so the south end of the property there, you'll see Street A identified. That is going to be your main.
That's going to be the main way in.
So this is the purpose of the
Man, you're
temporary
still
road.
spotting in and out.
Jeff, valiant effort, man. You did a really good valiant effort, but we're only getting every other word. So I think what you said was that road was going to be the main way in, but if Mauricio, if you know the details on that and could just repeat what Jeff was trying to say. Because I think that's important for his recording, because that's one of the things I'm getting a lot of questions on.
Sure, Pam. Well, my understanding is that since Street A is going to be under construction about the same time as our schools, Wellboro is planning to have a sort of a parallel temporary access road within the site, so there's no overlap with the other work. That way they can proceed and work, without any kind of delays on their own schedule, without having to depend on Street A for access.
Okay, and Maher, is there anything you want to add on that?
I was just going to say, let's bring the county in with comment on that.
Or Diana, if there's anything you want to add.
Could you repeat the question? I'm sorry. I was reading something else. I'm sorry about that. Can you repeat the question?
I think, Pam, what we were trying to figure out a little bit was it the timing on Street A and B, or how that's all going to work with our construction?
The street access in there going into that area. Thanks, Diane.
The plans have been in our shop as an E project, okay, and we the last I guess points that we had to work out was related to the pedestrian crossing, student pedestrian crossing, the location, and what type of signal would be actually required for that. But I think that the engineers for the school board are coordinating with the developer, because this is all developer driven. And of course, OCPS entered into an agreement with them, and they are assuring us that they are going to be completing their infrastructure to support the school prior to any need that the school has for all the utilities and the roadway. I think that they must be in the very last stage of the plan review and approval, and they will go into construction soon after. This is phase one. This has been to the infrastructure. This has been already to DRC, and I believe approvals have been granted. So pending, the signal location. So we are moving forward with this project.
Thank you for your help.
Hey, Mauricio, can you move us ahead to the slide that shows people how to put questions in the Q&A? Because I want to try to open this up to the audience. Okay, so there are a few people I want to introduce that I didn't get to introduce in the first round. But if you're coming on to this late and didn't get to see this slide at the beginning, this is how you can put a question in. So feel free to go ahead and put your questions into the Q&A, or if you can't access your Q&A for some reason, try the chat. But I did want to mention that our design manager from the OCPS project management team, Mo Arthur, is on the call. So is Rory Salenbean, who's our Senior Facilities Executive Director. And we've also been joined by Devania Burns from Fire, Health, and Safety. So we do have representatives from a number of different departments here to help. Pam, is there anything that you've heard questions about or that you'd like discussed while we wait to see if questions come in?
I think you hit most of the things that I have heard in the past. I haven't gotten a lot of new inquiries on this. It was about the access, about the timing, about the light. So I think from the construction standpoint, you covered it very, very well and hit all the points and the questions even that we had last time.
Okay, and there's a question, what's the capacity of this new middle school? Is it about 1,200? Maurizio or Susan?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Yep, about 1,200 students. Come on, there's got to be another question out there somewhere. Oh, here's one. Which developer is Orange County requiring to build a roadway? Has their permit been issued? Diana, would that be a question for you, or is that a Stephen Thorpe question? Do you want me to repeat it?
Who's developer? There's an agreement, and currently this segment is being designed by Paulus and Bennett. Is the engineer that the group of developers hired to conduct the study. Right now, the study is underway, and they will be moving forward to design and construction following approvals by the board. First, the study will go to the board sometime in May, around May of next year, we're anticipating. And then soon after we get approval by the board of county commissioners of that study, then the developer will move into the design stage and subsequently the construction.
So at what point does the permit come in that process?
Well, when the design is conducted, that's where all the permitting comes in for all the improvements along 545 that are going to be impacting, and there will be, and some overlapping in construction. That's what I envision, because we are fast tracking all the improvements on 545 due to the fact that there's a lot of construction and a lot of development happening at this time, and it has not, the pandemic has not slowed down any of that in this area at all. So we're moving forward with all the permitting and all the rooftops that you see coming up. The homes are selling, so it appears that this area is very liked by many of all the newcomers into this area. So we are trying our best to fast track all the improvements on 545, but to be able to have the capacity on the roadway for the schools that are coming, because you got the middle school, but then soon after you're going to come with the elementary school, which will add even more. And with that PDS, that's preliminary design study is what PDS stands for. With that PDS, we will address the 545 traffic signal.
Okay, and the person who was asking the question kind of clarified that his main concern is whether the road would possibly not be ready on time. Is there any reason to be concerned?
It is very possible that the road will not be ready at the time the first school opens, the middle school. But
Well, the school's opening in 2022.
The school in 2022, well, maybe some overlapping there and some construction going on while the school is opening. It's very possible.
And I'm correct that both of these schools are opening in 2022, right?
Correct.
Thank you.
The elementary and the middle will both open in 22.
Oh, okay, Jess. I didn't know. I thought that one was kind of lagging a year, but if both are opening in 2022.
Yes, there's another middle school opening in 23. So maybe that's what you're thinking about, but the elementary and middle here are open in 22.
Okay, so I mean, we're looking at presenting the study to the board in February or March, maybe, of next year. We're trying to also push that back. It was in May, but now we're looking to bring it forward even earlier so that we can go to design. Of course, the design is by the developers, which will take less than the time that it would take us to put it through. Okay, so we're looking at the design to be maybe done by the spring of 2022, and construction will be design and permitting, and construction will start soon after.
With the intent of the road being in by the time the school's open?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
That segment of road with traffic on it.
Stephen, what are you trying to say?
I believe we may be talking about two different roads. Diana, are you referring to Avalon Road and not our?
Yes, I'm referring about Avalon Road.
Oh, I think they're asking about Street A and Street B.
No, Street A and Street B are entirely developer driven, and they are pushing forward so that it's in place when the schools are ready to be open. That will not be an issue. I'm talking about Avalon Road, the one that is being widened to 4 lanes to accommodate all the traffic that will be generated to coming onto the schools.
Gotcha. Okay.
It's Avalon, the one that's lagging behind. No, but Street A is all developer driven, and you all have an agreement with the developer, and the developer is moving it forward. And it's going to be there by the time the schools are ready to open.
Okay, Stephen, is there any?
Lauren, our agreement with the developer is to have the roads Street A and Street B in place before the start of the school year.
Correct.
Thank you. That's I think really key to what we were trying to get at. Okay, thank you.
I apologize. I thought you were asking about Avalon Road.
Gotcha. No, thanks for picking up on that, Stephen. All right. Any comments anyone else want to make on that? Okay. The next question is the zoning process. So when is the zoning process will begin in the spring? And someone asked if the students who are going to the high school could end up getting rezoned to this school. And I'm told no. If students have been zoned to 65, which is the other middle school that's opening in Horizon West right around the same time, but is starting out inside the high school out that way, that those students would not get rezoned to this school, Site 132. So they did, when they zoned that school, have this school in mind. So that process will start in the spring, and there will be, public meetings, chances to weigh in either online or in person. And the schools that'll be affected are Bridgewater and Sunridge potentially, and the families that are affected will be notified and will definitely have a chance to give input before any decision is made or before any vote on that.
So I just want to clarify that. So barring no changes in our market and how things are growing in Horizon West, we don't anticipate that any of those schools that have been zoned to 65 and on site at the high school would go here, but there's never, ever, ever a guarantee. So I want to make that clear, because the neighborhoods are, a little big, and even with the high school, the 2 high schools, we're relooking now and what's in the best interest of the students to be closest to school near them, and sometimes that's in the same neighborhoods. So I just want to be clear, right now there's not any intent to move those kids again, but the market does change.
Absolutely, that's an important point. So at this point, we have gotten to all the questions that were asked. If Pam, did you want to give out any closing remarks just to see if any other questions come in the next minute or so?
No, at this point, everything that is in play with our 5-year comp plan that has had design and construction dollars committed to it. We are going to continue to contend with growth in the west side, and next year we'll get some budget projections based on the loss of revenues that the state is seeing, and of course our diminished half-penny sales tax. So I just want people to understand that everything that is said in our plan is good because it's already funded and we have the funding secured, but we may have to get clever in the next 4 years while we go through this economic challenge. It's really slowing people from coming here, but funding could be an issue. So nothing we could do about it today until we get the numbers and the projections and we see what's really going to happen. But I want to make sure everybody understands some of the complications that we may see in the next 3-4 years.
Okay, thank you, Pam. One more question did come in, so let me pull it up so I can see it. Okay. Okay, here's the question. Have the administrators and teachers at Timber Springs and/or Carver Middle been asked for feedback regarding design improvements? Yes. There is a lessons learned process. I don't know exactly, whether it's every single person at the school, Rory. If you're on, I don't know if you want to add anything on that, but I do know that we reach out to schools after after their school has been built and, ask for potential improvement ideas. And they're definitely made based on those sorts of suggestions. Like in some of our elementary schools, the hallways, you couldn't tape on them without damaging the paint. And so a teacher's suggestion was to add like a tack board strip in the hallways, and that was done. There was another suggestion we got from teachers asking to put tiles around the sinks because we were carpeting pretty close up to the sinks, and that was a design change that was made. So those sort of things do certainly come from input.
Yeah, I'll just add that we actually have a formal process that we use for each new school, where we go back a little over a year after the school's been in operation to solicit exactly those types of things that Lauren has mentioned, information on those types of improvements. And that would have happened for the schools, Timber Springs and Carver. We would have already collected that as part of our normal process to do that.
Okay, great.
Yeah, Lauren, for this school in particular, we did receive those improvement suggestions, and we organized a meeting, and we went to Carver, and we walked the building with the principal and assistant principal, and just the architect, Maurizio and Susan, did ask the question we asked about any issues they are running from an operational perspective. And we got lots of good feedback from the admin staff, and they were integrated into the design at the beginning.
Excellent. Yep, I think that was why the question was being asked, to see if they were integrated. So that's great to hear. Are there any specifics that you can think of, or Maurizio or Susan?
Yeah, well, for example, we actually made some floor plan changes to make some of the restrooms more accessible, from the main corridor, from the cafeteria, as opposed to from the main corridor, so that the kids wouldn't have to go outside of the cafeteria to use those restrooms. We also made some changes to make the plan more efficient upstairs on restrooms, and we made some changes to the serving line as well. So there were several, actually, as Maher mentioned, that we picked up, and always trying to improve our prototypes the best we can.
Yeah, the interior windows that we removed as well.
Right, that's the one I'm thinking of. I know that the teachers had expressed some thoughts that maybe that was distracting students to have other students possibly viewing into the classroom. So we removed some interior windows.
Okay, great. That's really helpful. All right, well, I'm not seeing any additional questions at this point. So thank you so much to everybody for participating. A recording of this presentation will be posted and shared out with anyone who registered. If you have neighbors who planned to come tonight and then didn't, they will get a link. And you can actually see this presentation up already at facilities.ocps.net or on the main ocps.net page under school board, under Pam Gould's page. So thank you very much, everyone, for joining us. And you have a great evening. We'll see you.
Thank you. Have a great holiday.
Okay, we'll see you all next year.
Likewise.
Bye-bye.
Good night.
Bye. Good
Thank you.
night.